Alright, we're starting it up. Yeah, it's definitely lazy, that's true. I was working on other things, like World of Final Fantasy. Fuck you, crawler. Oh, hell dog, this'll interest you. Look at this crawler. It looks just like the ones from FF11. Although not as dangerous as some of the ones in FF11. Oh look, there's an Aether Current right there. I have to go get that. Gotta run the other way. Might as well pick it up since I'm here. Though that was not my original intention. Crawler, HD style, yeah, essentially. There's other mobs from FF11 in this, actually. The Dark Dragon from the main story quest is in this. Earth Sprites, as you can see, those are in this. And they look just like they did in FF11 with the crystal floating inside and all.
Crabs.
Yeah, the crabs are in it, and Iroha from Rhapsodies of Vana'diel mentions them and references how people used to go to Valkyrie Dunes to beat up crabs. Which sounds that weird when you think about it, but... That's what your Link Shell called you in FF11? Oh, that's awesome! Okay, 389 yalms to the east. That's probably down below. Oh, also, if you want to get something cool to look at here, down there is going to be something we're going to be doing on stream later. If you can't tell what that is Final Fantasy XIV's version of Alexander. Again, we will be touching on that more at a later date. I gotta pre-set up a group for that. Hopefully I can get people that want to come along. Even people from other servers if they want to come along and help for the stream, that'd be fun.
We have to be on the same...
You gotta be on the same data group though, yes. Wintrig brings up a good point.
Data center. That's a battle group, because, wow.
You never fought Alexander in FF11? Ah, Silly and I did. That was a cool part of the story. Treasures of Ot Urgen. And here's a Calibri. I think these were in FF11 as well. Silly, do you remember seeing these guys?
Yes.
Yeah. And the water elementals, again, look the exact same, only watery. Water sprite.
Makes me think of Card Captor Sakura.
Card Captor Sakura. Oh, look.
They're watery.
I don't know if you ever hunted for the Carbuncle Ruby in Final Fantasy XI, but here's the stupid leech model that you have to hunt. Various leeches. And he throws heavy up on me. Fuck you, Sun Leech. You're an asshole. I just wanted to show you off to one of my viewers, and you gotta go throw heavy up on me. How rude is that?
He's showing off.
Yeah. It took me a bit of time to get my Carbuncle Ruby. I think, Silly, didn't you get yours fairly quickly, but then had a lot of trouble getting the fire weather?
Mm-hmm.
No, fuck off, Sun Leech. I don't like you. Oh, and over here is my favorite monster in the whole game. The Pirogo with the Barrow Rogo. This fate is called Total Lone. Poor Barrow Rogo is just one of many Pirogo familiars abandoned by their masters when the Sharlayan exodus took place. Barrow, however, never forgot the pain of waking up alone and has since sworn revenge on anyone who even reminds him of his former life. That's sad. But look, he's got a little staff. Actually, his staff isn't that little, but the other ones have little staffs. Used to farm it for the blood because it sold well in the auction house. That's kind of cool. I gotta go out this way. Pirogos are the single greatest enemies in the game. And I really wish they had given us a Beast Tribe quest for them because... Pirogos. Honestly, I think the funniest thing that happened in FF11 to me was when I found out that who one of the ambassadors was, and it shows up with my character wearing a job coat with the mask on. All right, we're gonna share screens here. All right, Alpha Node. She was less than flattering about my technique when we last met, but this time I have come prepared. Let her belittle my obsidian carbuncle if she dares. Do not tell her I said that. Ishtola.
The crystal eye is one of Master Matoya's most cherished relics. I doubt very much that she will grant us leave to lay hands upon it, unless we can convince her that it is vital to her cause.
Yeah, I know there's Prorogos in FF11. And Krile.
How to do this voice?
Well, she's British in the her actual voice actor.
But she's a cat.
She's just dressed like a cat.
Oh. Okay. How do you want me to do her voice?
Not like you do the other one. Just pick a voice that's not awful.
But it's coming from me. You did say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Master Matoya meeting us on the way is something.
To be more accurate, though, she's not actually a cat. She's a devout, a class in Final Fantasy V. In the eye of the beholder, the prospect of meeting the famous Master Matoya seems to have left Krile's thinking.
I have heard many stories of Master Matoya. Some quite flattering, others less so. Rest assured they are all true. This way, and have care where you tread.
Alright, so the beautiful thing about this is I can now go in here without worry of being attacked by Prorogos.
This pains me.
Fighting Prorogos? I know, it's upsetting. Yeah, I know the Prorogos are in FF11, but every time we get to an area where there's just nothing but frogs, I like to stop and just look at the frogs. FF1 music.
Oh,
It's voiced.
is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Forgive us, Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Krile, of the students of Baldessian. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Baldessian, you say? Ah, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our Order's headquarters and the Isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Krile, you too possess the Echo.
Well, yes, of course I do. Our Order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the science of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing Scions.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
Long did I ponder the nature of this crystal and its familiar radiance, but never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which served to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya. Then let us begin. From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al. It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock, I think.
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
Matoya is just like, get the fuck out of my cave. On the bright side, let's go back into the cave for a moment, because I have something very important to show all of you. Look at this piroga. It has a hat on. Isn't that fantastic? It has a little hat. And look, we have a broom called a straightforward broom. If you remember in Final Fantasy I, when you go into her cave, she doesn't have pirogos, but she does have the brooms. And if you talk to them, they speak backwards and they tell you how to take part in a mini game, which is like hold down left, right, A, B, start or something. I don't know, it was weird. But it was just like one of those sliding puzzle games that you could see with like the 16 by 16 squares with one of the squares open. Yeah, John, let's get a little hat. Alright, let's go to Tailfeather. Alright, so we went to Tailfeather once, but I didn't really show you guys Tailfeather. So we'll do that when we get there. But, Helldog, I hope you enjoy all the FF11 stuff I'm showing you. I kind of just think of it when I see it, and I'm like, ooh, that was an FF11. He'll appreciate that. As far as MMOs go right now, FF14 is probably my favorite one that I've played. Although there's a lot that I'm interested in trying. Silly really wants me to play EverQuest 2. I just don't have time for it right now. But there's a frog person, so it's hard to say no. Alright.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, I knew about the frog, but I didn't know that people were asking you to play EverQuest too.
Wolguf, Juba, and Silly have all asked me to play. It's just, I just don't have time for it.
When?
A while back, a long time ago. Of course.
You gotta play Maple with me.
I do play Maple with you. Here's Krile.
Oh, I have to voice her.
Uh-huh.
We had forests like these in the Isle of Val. My grandfather and I used to go for walks together when I could, because I'm away from his work. It was the least I could do for him, considering everything he has done for me. Taking me in when I was an orphan, raising me as his own, and giving me a name. You didn't think my parents named me Krile Beldacian, did you?
Stop.
Tancred may be a capable warrior, but he was wounded when last I saw him. If any beasts were nearby when he emerged from the life stream, he would be hard-pressed to repel them.
Were I to find myself in an unfamiliar wilderness, my first instinct would be to seek out signs of civilization.
Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state, he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance. Yet, even had Tancred chosen to remain in the forest, the hunters would surely have stumbled across his trail. Tailfeather doesn't strike me as an isolated outpost, though. Merchants and traders pass through reasonably regularly, do they not? In which case, we'll need to provide a more detailed description when we question the locals.
Fear not, Krile. I have already prepared several sketches of Tancred for that very purpose.
This is impressive. You drew him from memory?
Nope. Alpha Node had him pose for him before they went missing. Think the scene from Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
A skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into two pairs. Istola and I will inquire at the outlying encampments, while Miro and Krile question the residents of Tailfeather. Afterwards, we shall regroup near Loth Asvath and share our findings. Assuming there are no objections, let us be about it.
Why, he certainly has matured, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. Anyway, we had best get started. Find me when you finish making your rounds.
Draw me like one of your French girls, Alpha Node. Well, apparently he's good at drawing, so that's possible. Ah, Silly, you get to voice Lupard. I remember this guy. Silly,
To you now.
Silly finally gets to put his talents to use.
Searching for a friend of yours. Let's have a look then.
Alright, so Alpha Node's sketch, a surprisingly accurate depiction of the missing Tancred, suggesting that Alpha Node may have mistaken his life's calling.
No, ain't seen him around, sorry.
Fine, fuck you too, Lupard. Alright, we got another one over here. I think. Yes, guy's inside the house, though. There's Krile. Alright, Mars Jump. I voiced this guy. What's that you got there? A sketch? I can't say another face. You say something of a warrior? I heard a tale the other day about a hireling vagabond who brought down a bandersnatch by himself, and with style. The way they tell it, he was dancing with the beast like it was the bell of the bleeding ball. Sounds like your man. You suck at voiceovers and pronunciation? So do I. I just kind of... If I don't know how something's pronounced, I just assume how it's pronounced. Or if I'm voicing with somebody else, I let them voice it however they want, and then I'll tell them how it's supposed to be pronounced, like in the case of Ratatosker with Piamet there. That's a hard word to pronounce, though, so I'm not surprised. Alright, and Silly, you can voice Grimold.
It took me off guard.
Yeah, it's gonna happen sometimes.
Here in mail. Well, we're not exactly rare, you know. Could you be more specific? I did spy this one bloke a while back. Didn't get a good look at his face, but it could have been him. This was beyond the forest, as I recall, along the river to the west of Tailfeather. I remember thinking he wasn't much of a hunter. The lad was making no effort to cover his tracks, see? That, and he was carrying an axe instead of a bow.
Interesting. Alright, so now we're gonna go meet up with Krile, I imagine. Yeah, I'm sorry my voice acting isn't better, but I've been doing this for a while. So I have a little bit of practice pronouncing things. Also, Wintrig just posted a bunch of emotes into the chat. There are... if you can't see them, then you need to download something. Yeah, there you go. But they're emotes you can use in my chat if you have that installed. It's an add-on for whatever browser you're using. Here you go, Krile.
Chrome. Sorry. Finished. In that case, I think we've learned everything we can here. Let's see what the others have found out.
Okay, we gotta go all the way over there. Actually, I can fly over there. Ah, here's my chocobo. I don't think I showed him, but this is Squirms. He's wearing a flight hat. It even has goggles. It'd be cool if I could put the goggles on, but I could see why Squirms wouldn't like that. / visor. No, it won't work. And he's wearing Firian's outfit from Final Fantasy II. Chocobos! But yes, if you want to use the special emotes for my channel, you gotta have that add-on. Unfortunately. At least until I potentially one day get sponsored. Or partnered.
Yeah, they probably won't let you use Pizza Roll, though,
Yeah.
as your own emote.
It's true. It's Krile.
We were to meet here, were we not?
Alright everyone, we've arrived at our destination. You're a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to yourself. I can understand that. Practice makes perfect, they say.
Everyone's their own worst critic.
Except
as they
Piamet.
say.
My apologies for our late arrival. We thought it wise to question as many hunters as we could.
Many have made camp in inaccessible locations, ideal for hunting game, not so receiving visitors.
Nevertheless, our time proved well spent. There have been countless sightings of an exceptionally capable Hyeran hunter with whom no one is familiar. Though none chanced to see the man's face, his height and build matched Thancred's description, as does his fighting prowess. So you have heard the same tales. Be that as it may, we yet want for conclusive proof.
Mayhap this is unrelated, but I heard a curious tale regarding a vast trader. He came to Tailfeather in search of garments fit for a man of refinement, which seemed a rather curious description for one of his kind. You are implying that Thancred sent a Vath to market in his stead. Why would he not go himself?
Well, if you recall, you yourself emerged from the livestream as naked as your name day. It is a scene I shall never forget.
Is it now?
Well, I was pleased to see you. I mean, it was a simple statement of fact. It stands to reason that Thancred found himself in the same predicament.
In any case, if he had dealings with the Vath, they should be able to tell us, no?
Quite right, Krile. Quite right. Aha, Alphanode will never be able to forget seeing Y'shtola naked. And he told
I
her.
didn't get to see Y'shtola naked.
That's probably for a reason. They figured you'd stalk her afterwards. A little slow, a little late. Alphanode would like very much to continue the search for Thancred. Well, what are we waiting for? For all we know, Thancred could be waiting for us in Lothas Vath. We must go and see the Vath right away. Come along, everyone, come along. Alright, so where we're going is just down here. Around these rocks, and we get to go see some bug people, which if you've played Final Fantasy XII, these people might look familiar to you. The first time Alphanode saw a naked woman. No, that can't be true. I mean, I'm certain that he had people pose for him. Unless he only did male art, in which case that's fine too. The Vath Storyteller. Silly, I think you were the Vath Storyteller, right? Or was that Piamet?
I don't know.
You can be the Vath Storyteller this time.
Great hunters, we welcome you once more to Lost God's Path. What do you seek this day?
We seek a man with whom we are told you may have had certain dealings.
How curious. The hunters tire of godless sport and pursue mortal prey.
No, he's not prey, but a friend long missing.
Good. He is a friend to the Vath as well, one with whom we have traded many times.
Truly? And you are quite certain it was this man?
There is no doubt. The freshling clothed in skins came to us from some Arv, lost and weak. He offered meat and hides in trade, and in exchange we tended his wounds. He brought us much flesh, so skilled a hunter he was. Much flesh. When he asked for garments, we were glad to provide them.
That's you, Pac-Man.
And where is he now?
Gone to Lost at Nath, not long ago. What he heard, the One Mind had summoned our god once more.
Ravana is returned?
The doctor did say the Nath had grown as before, but what could Thancred hope to accomplish by himself? Honored Elder, we thank you for your help. Would that we could repay this kindness ere we depart, but we must hasten to our comrade's side.
Go, great hunters, lest the Nath claim him as a sacrifice.
Yes, Aisu, Silly and I devised back during the FF11 stream, using a cup to voice masked characters or muffled characters. Oh! and it worked, and it's become something of a staple for our stream now. That was a good voice.
I was a storyteller before, but
Yeah, I asked and you didn't say anything, so.
yeah, I don't really like voicing creatures.
And plus, Silly hasn't had too many
I
voices,
don't do
so.
the cup.
Yeah, you should do the cup.
No!
The cup is important.
Right now, I have a cup full of coffee on my desk, and then a cup with water in it on my desk. And
I
no other
keep-
cups.
I keep a cup specifically for.
I guess I could use my hands. Oh.
We should play a game together at some time. We could. See, the cup is mandatory. We could, Isa. The problem is I don't know what games you are into, and it's not that I don't want to play with you. It's just because I do. It's just I don't have a lot of time, and the time I do have,
ISO?
Isu.
No, I don't think so.
It's Isu.
Oh, I always thought ISO was ISO. Oh my god.
Wow.
I was like, but you guys play the game. Don't.
Yeah, we play Divinity with ISO.
Pooh. Well, that sucks for ISO.
Yeah, so, however, if you have Dragon Quest Heroes 2 for the PS4, I play with everybody on Saturdays, and I'm getting more and more people interested, so I'm going to have to start cycling people out.
Yeah, also Final Fantasy Explorers, whenever we have time for that, we sometimes will take people in, and if you are a newcomer to the stream, you're more likely to be welcome to join us and tag along.
Yeah.
But you have to have Final Fantasy Explorers for the 3DS.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, cutscene.
Who else could be?
It's voice.
Thancred. It could be Thancred. We must hurry. Ah!
This day, we reclaim the reins of history. This day, we rid ourselves of the Scions forever.
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see. Or perhaps you will not. So you are the warrior of light, the savior of Eorzea. It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
Have care. The ether moves strangely around him.
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are. shall we show them? Not very sporting of you to interrupt, but so be it. Mark well our faces, warrior of light, for we are the warriors of darkness, walkers of a different path, and we shall meet again.
Warriors of Darkness? Really?
Thancred, are you all right?
Pleasantries can wait. I'd rather not be here when the Nath arrive. Agreed?
Weren't they the saviors in the opening of Final Fantasy XIV? Yes and no. They use the same models as the ones in Final Fantasy XIV, but I'm not going to spoil the story. So, there's a reason they look like that, though.
It was like the bard and the white mage.
Yeah.
The ladies.
Krile.
The vision caught me unaware, and I was unprepared for their attack, but I could hear the colony chattering all about us. They were so loud, so unbearably loud.
Alphanode. Do you need to sit down? I have water if it will help. Ishtola.
We should be safe here. Our pursuers are not like to stray so far from the colony.
Like, literally right out their door.
Well, maybe they're lazy.
It's like, shit, they went past our boundary of our gate to our place. Fuck it, we're done.
Me.
To say,
It's
our
voiced.
reunion was not at all as I pictured it. Waiting until the last instant to join the fray. 'Tis plain you have not lost your appetite for the dramatic.
My appetite for the dramatic? Have you forgotten the circumstances of our parting? The heroic last stand, the tunnel filling with light, and then... Had I known you intended to use forbidden magics to deliver me to some
Mute,
god's-forsaken
please.
wilderness,
Oh,
I would have thanked you in advance.
Thancred.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the all together. Eventually, I managed to fashion knives from some obsidian I found, and set about hunting for meat and hides. Given that I'm not all that skilled in leatherworking, it's probably for the best that I met the Vath before I was reunited with you.
So you were the fleshling clothed in skins of whom the storyteller spoke?
A description which fit me as ill as the skins themselves. Happily, I was able to trade with the Vath for garments better becoming a man of refinement. From them, I learned of Ravana, and of the great warrior who had once laid him low.
And thence did you conclude that were you to track the Primal's movements, it would surely bring you into contact with the Scions once more?
It seemed a reasonable assumption. I could think of no one else with your enthusiasm for slaying beastmen gods. Until now, that is.
Ah, yes. The self-proclaimed warriors of darkness. 'Tis only fitting that they stand in opposition to the warrior of light, I suppose.
I glimpsed the leaders past, if only for a moment. They were confronting a man in black, an Ascian.
If these warriors are capable of doing battle with Ascians and Primals both, they must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
A little slow, a little late, complete. So, Hell Dog. This game has classes, as you know, just like FF11, but the roles are kind of limited, as I mentioned. Like Warrior, Paladin, and Dark Knight are tanks. There's no getting around that. Unless you off-tank in an 8-man, in which case Warriors are often DPS off-tanks. But you also have added additions of Monk, Dragoon, Bard, Ninja, Black Mage, Summoner, and Machinist as your DPS classes, and White Mage, Scholar, and Astrologian as your healers. Summoner is Arcanist is the only class that can go to 2 separate jobs, and that's Summoner and Scholar. Dreams of the Lost. Hang on, I don't know if this is... What time is it? Okay, gotta reset my recording 1 second.